Okay, so I decided to make a little video about Comic Con, which starts today. I haven't seen really anything new as of yet, but I'm going to try to lay out my hopes of what we're going to be seeing from this Comic Con, which has evolved from just a big comic convention into just a general sci-fi and fantasy and anything geek related convention, and now into a big movie uh, convention. It started with the superhero movies, obviously, but as superhero movies became more and more popular, and were always announced at Comic Con, other movies that they would feel appeal to this audience was now apparently appears, I should say, to be the biggest and most important entertainment audience. Now they're just doing pretty much every movie at Comic Con, and since I'm so far this is mainly a movie channel, I figure I should lay down some hopefuls of what we'll be seeing. The big one, of course, is hopefully we're going to be seeing some footage for Thor. Probably a special Comic Con trailer for Thor. I know I just posted up a few still images. There is some artwork that they've already revealed. I didn't make a video about that because I'm waiting to see what else we see from Thor. Plus, it wasn't. It showed him and Loki fighting. So there wasn't a whole lot to talk about because it probably wasn't actually like a direct scene. But we're hopefully going to see a trailer from Thor. If there is, I'll talk about it as a follow-up. The other big thing I'm hoping from this Comic-Con, which has been promised, is the Red Dawn trailer. They're remaking Red Dawn. I have seen a few behind-the-scenes videos of when they were filming in Detroit. Some of the people whose street they were filming on, put some cameras outside their window and they could see some of the filming going on. So I have a general idea of the action, somewhat. We'll see what the trailer is. We'll see if it's over CGI, if it's one of the other movies that we have been seeing where it's harkening back to the old 80s styles, whether this is kind of following that Expendables route and kind of rejecting a lot of the new stuff and trying to go back to how they made films in the 80s and not overly rely on CGI. I mean, this movie can have CGI, but we'll see what the trailer's like for that. The other big one that I'm excited about is a TV series, actually. They're making a zombie TV series, or a zombie apocalypse TV series. It's called The Walking Dead. It's based on a long-running comic book. I have a couple of issues from the comic book. I hope it's a little bit more upbeat than the comic, because that's what actually turned me off of the comic. I thought it was a little too downbeat, too grimdark. And they were always in despair, but it's like, okay, you're many, many issues into this comic book, and you're still like, things have never been this worse, and it's bad when that starts happening, and you can kind of think back to stuff where it has been worse. So I'm hoping the series is a little bit more lighthearted, but it's a little bit more lighthearted, I should say. But it's still a zombie television series. I can't imagine why we haven't had one of these yet. Even the X-Files, I don't think had a zombie episode. They had the game. If you want to know more about the game, check out Smoonie's website. It was one of his first reviews, where they took the zombie thing in, but they didn't ever have a full zombie apocalypse episode. I mean, they had some of the weirder stuff, but it wasn't really the zombie apocalypse stuff. So hopefully we'll see some footage from that. Hopefully we'll also hear a little bit more about Avengers in general and Captain America. Maybe a little bit more casting information, maybe a confirmation on Hugo Weaving. The other big thing, and I should talk about this because I think this is going to be one of those things that are going to quickly spread on the internet. Some of you probably are familiar with the Nostalgia Critic. Well, he's finally gotten into a bit of a tough. He reviewed this horrible movie called The Room, but it's so bad. It's one of those movies that's so bad it's good. I mean, the acting is just so atrocious. It's great comedy. But apparently, after he did the review, they forced him to take it down. This has never happened before, and he's done reviews from everything. He's had footage from Star Wars on there, and notorious George Lucas has not hunted down a nostalgia critic. But Tommy Wiseau, who was the director, producer, writer, editor, actor, everything else on this horrible movie, or at least somebody under him, forced him to take it down. He's apparently going to be at Comic-Con to promote a new movie. I have a feeling you're going to see a lot of stuff, because this has already started to spread through from not that guy with the glasses to other websites. They're talking about it on Newgrounds and on Albino Black Sheep, and I'm pretty sure the Chans are probably chatted up about it. I know SpaceBattles.com, that forum, has talked about it a bit. So stuff will probably go down. So expect some viral videos of him being harassed by nostalgia critic fans. And we'll see, maybe he'll reverse it there. Maybe he'll, he might, who knows, maybe Tommy Wiseau himself isn't aware of this, and once he starts getting harassed, we'll tell John at theroommovie.com to let the nostalgia critic put it back up. Hopefully we see that. There's also supposed to be some crazy cult of some sort is going to try to protest Comic-Con. I'm sure we'll get some entertaining stuff from that. Some sort of, they've been in the news before. I'm not sure if it's the same group that was protesting the soldiers' funerals. Which, I mean, if it is, I mean, that there was like hardcore far left people and far right people. They united them together in hatred of that particular group. If it's the same group, now they can add nerds to it too. It's a growing list of enemies. Who have they not pissed off? They got neo-Nazis and communists to agree on something. So, well, I shouldn't go as far as neo-Nazis. Actually, yeah, no, or even communists. But far left people, far right people. It's going to be funny to see what happens with them. Comic book wise, I'm not sure if we're going to hear anything big. Like I said, I'm not the biggest comic book fan. I've said that in previous videos, but I also don't think Marvel and DC are emphasizing the big overarching stories as much as they once were. So we probably won't hear, a new Dark Reign or a new Civil War. I think Marvel is kind of starting to realize they've kind of beaten the big events to death, and they're going to let them sit for a while and kind of hopefully let the comics go back and do their own thing. There was way too much crossovers going on with all that stuff. Let every character go back and start to develop on their own. I think, and DC's kind of always done that, so I'm not expecting a lot of big comic news, although I'm sure we're going to hear a few other surprises, which I'm not going to expect. I would also expect some more, possibly a second. Well, we already have a second trailer, but maybe a third trailer for Tron Legacy. That's one I'm certainly going to be expecting to hear about. We kind of already know the plot. The basic outline. I'll probably do a first thoughts once I rewatch the original Tron, because I haven't seen it in a little while. We probably get maybe a little bit more info on the Tron game, although, it's a video game movie. I'm not going to be looking to get it. Maybe if it's halfway decent, I'll buy it when it comes down to $20 used. Other than that, I'm sure there's going to be surprises. I'm sure we're going to see some great costumes as always. The cosplayers can be very creative. I'm shocked sometimes how well they can pull off some of the costumes. Star Wars related stuff, there's normally something Star Wars you always hear about. We'll probably maybe we'll hear something on that other Star Wars TV series. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm sure we're going to hear at least one other big comic book movie, possibly something on Batman. Not positive, but possibly. But I guarantee you there's going to be at least one other comic book movie that is announced, we see footage for, or something. At this Comic-Con. Generally, stay tuned. If I see something, I will try to post it up, do a little in-depth reaction to it. Probably on the stuff I mentioned. If something comes and surprises me, I'll talk about that too. So, should be a busy couple of days. Just on the speculation stuff. So, I'll see you then. Signing off.